Good afternoon. We're here for another one. Whatever this is, Safari, Adventure, you're welcome, and let's get right into it. This is April 26th, 2026. What happened here? Okay. Oh, yeah, just kidding. No, we're not going to go for that. What's this?
A new AP Norc poll finds Americans are feeling down about the U.S. economy, which is becoming an increasingly big problem for President Trump. Only 30% of U.S. adults say they approve of how Trump is handling the economy,
Too bad,
which is down from 38% last month and among the lowest ratings he's received on the economy in his second term. He gets an even lower rating when it comes to the cost of living, where just 23% of U.S. adults say they approve of how he's handling this issue. And it's one that's dividing Republicans in particular. About half of Republicans say they approve of how Trump is handling the cost of living, while the other half disapprove.
All right, cool. Yep. What's up next here? Yep. Click on it.
From Teams EDC, you changed the Department of Defense to the Department of War. Would you consider changing the name again to the Department of Peace, since that's what we're all after?
Well, that's the pursuit. It's a great question, actually. You go from defense to war because you want to be proactive about peace through strength. And really, I gave a speech in front of generals about what the ethos of the War Department is all about, because I wanted to go through every echelon of this department. It means something. It's not just words. And when you fight a war the right way, the idea is on the other side you bring about peace. That is what we'd like to see the most. In fact, I once did a video about the one institution that should win the Nobel Peace Prize every single year is the United States military, because we are the...
Okay. Oh, what's that? Oh, no. Come on now. Well, that speaks. What's next here? Let's click on it and do this thingy and click on this one too. And what's this one here?
Tonight in our deep dive, move over 30-year mortgage. The Trump administration is moving...
Oh, wait, hold on. This was from... 5 months ago, but you know, flood the zone and all that stuff. Here's one of these.
Moving forward with the plan to introduce a 50-year fixed-rate mortgage, a reform officials believe could make homeownership more feasible for millions of Americans amid soaring prices and affordability concerns. Now, President Trump first floated the idea Saturday on social media, but not everyone is a fan. Critics warn extending mortgages that long, it can essentially result in people paying far more interest and potentially trap borrowers in debt for a lifetime.
Okay, I'll stop him right there. You pay more over time. That's what a loan is. And over that time, you'll pay more interest and you'll be a slave in debt for life if you're not a successful billionaire president. What's up next here? Okay, this was 4 months ago. We got some problems. Dumped a little bit of spillage on the old laptop here. I gotta clean this up real quick. Use the cuff of my thing. Oh no, it's plastic, so I can't. Oh shit. I got to use the flag or something. I don't know. Use the flag. That's a good absorber. Okay. Oh no. I'm not feeding back. I'm just using the flag to wipe off this White Claw from my screen. Okay, we're back. We're back here. We dumped the stuff on the White Claw on the screen by opening it. And we're going to click on this one here.
Years ago, I left a meeting at the White House where we cut the cost of prescription drugs by 300, 400, 500, and even 600%.
Okay. We're going to have the drug companies pay you.
Nations all over the world were screwing us. We would have prices that
Interesting.
were
This was 4 months
10
ago.
times higher than the prices they were charging in London, in Paris, and all over.
What's going on there?
All over the world, we had the highest prices for drugs because we had politicians that wouldn't. I did it at the beginning, at the first, but then we had a thing called, you know what happened, COVID, and it was sort of hard to go after.
That's not what happened. No, that's not what happened. Actually, it's capitalism. Late stage, indeed. In fact, RFK Jr. defends President Trump's 600% saving math.
Thank you, Mr. President. I was reminded when the President was speaking of a conversation that I had yesterday with one of the Democratic senators who was questioning me during a hearing, and she was ridiculing President Trump for his math, and she was saying it's mathematically impossible to have a drug drop by 600% cost, which he had claimed. And I said, well, if the drug was $100 and it raised the price to $600, that would be a 600% rise. Well, if it drops from 600 to 100, that's a 600% savings. And the president used that mathematical device to illustrate the magnitude of the theft that has been happening against our country and our people. As he said, came back on this term and he said, we're going to lower them this time no matter what. There's people in this room or a part of the White House staff who said we can't do that. Oz and I said we probably can't do that, but he harassed us. We were beleaguered. It was like Fort Apache. Dr. Oz would not answer his phone because he was calling all night long with the president on the line.
Are they giggling at him again? They're just little gigglers.
It was like Fort Apache. We're the co-founders of this country, this company of Regeneron.
Amazing. It is amazing. And you're right. I took a lot of heat. I'd say 500, 600. But we also say sometimes 50%, 60%, different kind of calculation. But there are two ways of calculating it. But either way, it doesn't make any difference whether it's 60, 70, or 80%. Nobody's ever heard of it. But it's also 500, 600, 700, depending on the way you want to look at it. So the way you word the calculation, it's either way.
The president insisted we deal with one critical number you should all remember, which is that 1 in 3 Americans, when they go to the drugstore, after they've seen a doctor, will often leave empty-handed because they cannot afford the medications they're picking up. Secretary Kennedy quoted 100%, 600%. It's hard to beat free. Free is the best price, and that's the starting price with the president often.
I don't trust any of you. And I don't think anybody else should either. That's a fucking ripoff, and they should be ashamed of themselves. Fancy looking website, though. They're really trying hard here, bud. That's a fucking scam, and so were the guitars, and so were the fucking Bibles. It's all a gosh darn scam. Okay, what's that?
On April 19th, 1995, MacArthur Wheeler robbed a bank with his face glazed with lemon juice, believing the juice would make his face invisible to the surveillance cameras. He thought so because lemon juice works as invisible ink on a piece of paper. Police broadcasted the security camera footage on the local 11 o'clock news, and just after midnight, Arthur was arrested. Incredulously, he said, "But I wore the juice." Baffled by this reasoning, David Dunning and Justin Kruger, two psychologists, studied Mr. Wheeler and others like him. They came to the conclusion that people with low ability at a task tend to, paradoxically, overestimate themselves.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that sounds about right. Click this one here. What's this?
Excuse me. I think this might be Gatorade or something. I was just looking for some regular water.
Water?
Yeah.
You mean like in the toilet? What for?
No, just to drink.
Budget crisis of 2330, when the Brondo Corporation simply bought the FDA and the FCC, enabling them to say, do, and sell anything they wanted. He would not get out of the way. This time, he would lead.
Okay, look, you want to solve this problem. I want to get my pardon, so why don't we just try it, okay? And not worry about what plants crave.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
Yeah, it's got electrolytes.
What are electrolytes? Do you even know?
It's what they use to make Brondo.
Yeah, but why did they use them to make Brondo?
Because Brondo's got electrolytes.
We're in trouble, folks. We gotta stop this DEI hire shit. All these little boys gathering around the president. Hire experts and trust the experts. They've been spending their lives dealing with these issues and learning math and numbers and stuff. It was great you joining me on the safari. It's been a good one, and you're welcome. Hope you come back shortly. See you later, dudes. Gals, whatevers. We're accepting here. Goodbye.